Welcome to the Luke Woolems Show. Find out all about Northeast Dubois G baseball straight from the coach's mouth. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications. The Luke Woolems Show is brought to you by the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
This summer, take a step onto the same field Tom Hanks stood on in the movie A League of Their Own and root for the home team in Huntingburg, Indiana. The Dubois County Bombers, members of the Ohio Valley Wooden Bat League, plays baseball in retro-styled uniforms as the Peaches keeps things running in the stadium, entertaining fans with family-friendly activities. Make plans today to catch a game. Go to dcbombers.com for more information.
And welcome to this week's Luke Woolems Show. And Coach, last week we couldn't have a show because of technical difficulties, but we're back this week.
Yeah, good. Glad to have you back.
And we're glad to be back. I'm glad to talk to someone other than technical support at Tech Team Call. So, okay, why don't you review some of the games from the past?
Okay. Well, we go back to the Bar Reeve game. Conference game, first conference game for us. We got beat 9-3 at home. Had a 3-2 lead through 3 innings, and allowed Bar Reeve to come back tied up in the 4th. And so 3-3 game. Going into the 6th inning, probably left Colby in the game a batter or two too long, which is something that we've done repeatedly to that point. I think we've made an adjustment since, but Colby goes 5.1, and if he goes 5 and we go to Kendrick Thompson a little earlier, maybe it's a different ball game. But nevertheless, it's still early, and we're trying to stretch pitchers out a little bit and see how long they can go. Probably the story in that game. Bar Reeve obviously has a pretty good squad. I think they're ranked in the top 10. But Colby Piper takes the loss in that game. And then Friday night, at that point we're sitting at 0-5 with I think we get rained out Thursday night against let's play Jasper. We get rained out against Wood Memorial on the 21st, and so on the 22nd Jasper comes into town, and obviously it's the 4A defending state champion Jasper team. Coach Gobert does an awesome job with his guys, and he's got them playing crisp. And they, sometimes we kind of set goals beyond just what the scoreboard says at the end of the game. It's been a long time since we've gone 7 full innings against them. There's just, a lot of the lineups that we see throughout the year, especially in 1A baseball, it's your first 3 or 4 hitters that you really have to worry about. A team like Jasper, you've got to pitch to all 9 batters. You've got to be sharp and crisp to that entire lineup. The whole lineup can hurt you, and then they don't make mistakes defensively, and everybody knows that. But still some good performances in that game. Colby Piper had 2 hits. We did bang out 4 hits against them. Pitchers, Aiden Tavis threw well. We get beat 9-0, but going into the 6th inning, it's 4-0. So it was a good competitive game. Our kids fought. They didn't back down, and I was proud of them for the effort. We lose the game 9-0, and at this point we're 0-6. We've seen every single team's best pitcher. We've played 5 of the 7. Well, at that point, 5 of the 6 teams that we've played are ranked in their respective divisions. The only team that wasn't ranked was Heritage Hills, and obviously Heritage Hills got a very good baseball team. Like I said, we're seeing everybody's number one pitcher, and at this point, really feel like sitting at 0-6, we're getting better. Like, it doesn't necessarily help you to go out and play teams that or can't field the ball and can't throw strikes, and that doesn't do us any good. The schedule that we faced early certainly I think will help us in the long run, or I certainly hope it does. On Saturday, we get on April 23rd. Then we played Paoli. Again, we're going to get their best pitcher. Paoli, I think, was 2-4 at that point in the season. But they throw the Patton kid, Bladen Patton, a senior. Nice fastball. Decent movement on his breaking stuff. He's a good pitcher. He's kept him in some games early. And he goes 4 innings, 4 2/3 for him. We get 5 hits off of him, but it's at one point in the game we were down 3-1 through 4 innings. The bottom of the 4th, we started having some better at bats, and in the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs, first 2 guys go down quickly. I think Aiden Tavis hit the double and then gets picked off at first. And then we get a weak pop-up, foul territory. And so very quickly, I'm watching this kid's pitch count and going, I don't know, we've got to have a long at-bat in here to try to stretch him out. Because if he gets through the 4th relatively unscathed, he's got a good chance of going 7. And I'm just not sure, how this is going to play out. Well, Lane Gutzel comes to the plate and has an excellent at bat, stays off some pitches that early in the year he was chasing. Just has a real disciplined at bat and draws a walk. We end up loading the bases at that point with 2 outs and have Ty Cobb at the plate, and Ty just gets out on his front foot a little bit, hit the pop fly to the shortstop. Paoli gets out of the inning, but it's a really big kind of a turning point, I think, for the Patton kid on the mound, because he got stretched out in that inning. He has to go. Regardless, come back in the 5th inning. We hold them in the top of the 5th. We're down 3-1. Come back in the bottom of the 5th, and we scored 12 runs. So we knocked the Patton kid out of the game. We're continuing the good at bats, the disciplined, patient at bats at the plate. We scored 12 runs and win the game in the 5th inning with a run rule. So I'm proud of our kids for that. Proud of what maybe a turning point there for us. We certainly hope so. It would have been nice to come back then immediately on Monday and play Orleans, but again, the rain plays a factor. And so we're into on Tuesday, then we play our second conference game against South Knox. And it's a good South Knox team. They've got wins over Lagodi, North Knox, and have been in some competitive games. I know they got beat 2-1 at Washington. Again, we're going to get their number 1. And they they got a kid named Logan Fisher, a starting pitcher, senior, and he throws the ball with good velocity. I don't think his breaking stuff was working that well that night, but nevertheless, he kept us in check early. Again, we continue with patient, disciplined at bat, and eventually knock him out he comes out of the game in the 4th. But we had a couple, rough innings in the 3rd and 4th. We gave up 5 runs in the 3rd and 4 runs in the 4th. Aiden Tavis started the game for us probably on short rest, and wasn't as sharp and crisp as he was maybe in the Jasper game. But he comes out after 3. Ty Cobb comes in the 4th, and Ty did a really nice job. Ty's looking for his first start on the year. Hasn't got it yet, but looked decent. But we gave up 9 runs in the 3rd and 4th and just dug ourselves a hole that became very difficult to dig out of. We get into the 7th inning, we're down 10-3. We have, some good at bats in the 7th, and draw a couple walks and start to put a little pressure on South Knox. It's just a little too late.
we get beat 10-7. We did scratch out 12 hits in that game, which was the most we'd had in any game, to that point in the season. So was proud of them for that. Again, you're just trying. You're 1-7 now. You're trying to take some positives out of each of these games and grow and find things to help your kids keep believing in themselves, because this is a good ball team. They're capable of winning some games and making a run in the tournament. It's just the schedule and the weather and some of that stuff hasn't been kind to us yet, but we're getting it.
And we'll be back on the Luke Woolems Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosper Communications.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
This summer, take a step onto the same field Tom Hanks stood on in the movie A League of Their Own and root for the home team in Huntingburg, Indiana. The Dubois County Bombers, members of the Ohio Valley Wooden Bat League, plays baseball in retro-styled uniforms as the Peaches keeps things running in the stadium, entertaining fans with family-friendly activities. Make plans today to catch a game. Go to dcbombers.com for more information.
You talk about 5 ranked teams. That's 5 out of 8 games against ranked teams. And that's also 7 out of 8 games against teams with winning records.
Correct. Yeah, and that's but again, that's only going to help us in the long run. So, sometimes it's hard to get high school kids and maybe fans and parents to look at things besides records. But in this game that we play, it's certainly. There's a lot more to what we're doing than just records and the scoreboard at the end of the game. So we think we'll be okay. Let the season play out and see where we end up.
And, looking at your stats, the thing I look at is what grade are people in. You've got a good mix. You've got a lot of seniors that are leading categories, but you've also got some underclassmen sprinkled in there too.
Well, and that's something that we're always thinking about. You're always kind of looking to the future. Certainly you want to give seniors an opportunity early to prove themselves. And as time goes on, you start to sprinkle those young underclassmen in there. It's good examples. Grant Merringer, probably when the season started, I don't think we had big plans of Grant starting in a varsity lineup, but he's certainly proven himself, and that bodes well for the future. He's going to get his starts here as the season goes on. He's doing a nice job for us at third base, starting to hit the ball a little bit, and I don't even have to DH for him. So that's a real positive for us going forward.
And and you look at my favorite name in all of local baseball, Ty Cobb. He's leading you in batting average, on base percentage, and ERA.
Yeah, Ty's just a ball player, and I think Ty has aspirations of playing at the next level. He's a good kid, has good grades. We'd love for him to be able to go on to the next level. Then he's just a junior, but he's a little workhorse for us too. Wherever we put him, he's going to be the spark plug at that particular spot, and he can get the troops fired up in a hurry.
And we'll be back on the Luke Woolems Show right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening to the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosper Communications.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
This summer, take a step onto the same field Tom Hanks stood on in the movie A League of Their Own and root for the home team in Huntingburg, Indiana. The Dubois County Bombers, members of the Ohio Valley Wooden Bat League, plays baseball in retro-styled uniforms as the Peaches keeps things running in the stadium, entertaining fans with family-friendly activities. Make plans today to catch a game. Go to dcbombers.com for more information.
And welcome back to the Woolems Show. Coach, you've got a very busy weekend and week coming up. You've got a lot of blue chip conference games. Why don't you discuss those for us?
Well, we've got Wood Memorial tomorrow night down at Oakland City, and don't know much about them. They're 3-3 on the year. They just won a game over Boise last night. They did throw one of their senior pitcher. I think he went 7 innings for them last night, so not real sure what we're going to see down there. Kendrick Tomlinson will get the start for us at Wood. And then on Saturday, we've got the Mitchell Blue Jackets coming in. Big Ben Seisinger from Mitchell is on a tear for them this year. They've got, I noticed the other day they had 2 or 3 kids in the top statistical categories in the state, and they're very good. Their record right now is 9-3. Again, not sure how much that means, but they beat Bloomfield, they beat Springs Valley, Paoli, Shoals, and so I know they beat Perry Central the other night too. So I think that was last Friday. So I'm not sure what we'll get. I know their coach had also told me they had a couple conference games this week, and he thought he might be out of pitching by Saturday. But we're all in that boat. So we may not be out of pitching on Saturday, but we also are looking at 2 conference games on Monday and Tuesday that we've got to keep in mind as well. And that's one of the more challenging things that we deal with, I think, as coaches, is managing the games ahead of us and the games behind us. And you can only throw so many pitches in a set amount of time, and that's just a rule in baseball. Softball doesn't have to deal with that, But the good thing about this is you can throw a baseball. Every kid on the team should know how to throw a baseball. So it's not like softball where you got to learn how to throw it in a different way and all of that. But we'll manage it. We'll figure it out, and I will probably start Ty Cobb on the mound for us on Saturday. Some combination of Kendrick and Ty and Clay and whoever else. Aiden Dodd threw for us a little bit in the South Knox game, threw a couple innings, the first 2 innings that he's thrown, and he looked real good in the last 2 innings of that game. Didn't give up a run. So, we're going to continue to find those arms and figure that stuff out. But that's what we're looking at coming up. And so, and conference is important. We're sitting at 0-2 in the conference right now, but we may be able to win a game here or there that has an impact on the conference, and we're certainly going to play to that. But at the same time, winning the conference is sometimes just a byproduct of playing good baseball. So,
well, Coach, good luck this week.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. Appreciate it, and I'm glad you're back on the air.
You've been listening to Luke Woolems Show on the Southwest Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brooks Group Communications. We'll see you next week.
The Luke Woolems Show is brought to you by the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications.